Welcome back to Bravo Breaking News with Kim and Lisa. On this week's Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the ladies landed in St. Lucia, but not before Dorit and Kyle dove into the real issues behind their separations.
Oh, those sit downs were tough to watch. PK is clearly done with Dorit, but doesn't quite want to say it yet. And Kyle is having a hard time accepting that Mo is moving on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there is a lot to unpack with those conversations, as well as some new news that is going around Beverly Hills. And we're going to get into it all. But before we dive in, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any Bravo breaking news.
Okay, so we open at Erica's house. She's having Dorit and Bose over. They get to see her transformation of the house. And, Dorit says it's totally Erica. Erica says, Bose, I'm giving you a run for your money with the wallpaper, which is totally true. They both have wallpaper absolutely everywhere. There are so many palms. I mean, it's out of control. Like it is a palm frond frenzy. But again, I think it looks nice. And Bose comes there in gifts and she invites the ladies to St. Lucia with the tiniest swimsuits. I mean, these ladies are, I don't know how old Dorit is, maybe 46, 47. But like, those are tiny swimsuits. They all look amazing, but I'm like, I could never. So props to them because, I mean, if someone handed me that swimsuit, I would be like, that is not even covering one of my butt cheeks.
I mean, the question is, will they actually wear them? I doubt it. Let's make sure to clock that if they do. Because let's be real, like a swimsuit is something like really personal. Like if someone gave me a gift of a swimsuit, like how do they know what looks good on my body? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm questioning whether that will even be worn.
No, you're so right. I'm being reminded of Romy reboot season 1 when Jenna gave everyone lingerie and Jessel's just looked horrible on her. It was like 3 sizes too big, down to the knees, frumpy. She looked like a Christmas tree. So yeah, we'll see.
And I mean, was this they always try to find a tie-in, right, for these cast trips. What did you think about Bose's tie-in? Oh, Sutton inspired me to create a sisterhood, so let's go to St. Lucia.
I think it's a reach.
As always.
I'll say it's a reach. And then she said something about like, oh, it's going to be a fashion show with all of our looks or something. And I mean, a real fashion show. And then, she kind of caught herself saying like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. Yeah, you did.
It's like, I think it was such an awkward invitation and transition that they couldn't even show it in real time. It had to be a flashback. Like they didn't even show it really happening at the fashion show. But anyway, guess we're heading to St. Lucia.
St. Lucia, St. Lucia, Santa Lucia. I don't even know. Okay, so at the same time, we have Garcelle at Sutton's house, and they're, of course, talking about the Kathy of it all, how Kathy was fashion roadkill, which is what I said last week. She was totally Carrie from Sex and the City, falling on the runway, the model just stepping right over her. And Kathy in the confessional cracked me up. She is just laughing at herself like, I have the best of intentions. And then they talk about, of course, the conversation turns to Dorit and Garcelle's asking Sutton, so did you talk to Dorit? I didn't really see what happened.
Yeah, I mean, it all ties back to that drinking comment. Like Sutton is extremely triggered by Dorit making the comment about the drinking. And honestly, I think let's just let it go and move on. Like, I know this is going to continue in St. Lucia, but I think they're both to blame at this point. Both of them have done something wrong. Yes, I kind of leaned more towards Team Dorit at Caviar Caspia because Sutton completely lost it. Although a lot of our listeners feel different. They're on Team Sutton. A lot of you are on Sutton's side with this one and think that Dorit deserved what she got. So maybe, I do think that Dorit needs to cut it with the drinking comments. I think that what needs to happen is like a sit down with Sutton and Dorit. And I think Sutton maybe explain to her, look, I don't have a drinking problem. You saying these things really triggers me because of my past. Like there are certain people on the show that understand this, and Dorit is not one of them. And I think connecting with her on a personal level would really help to solve this. So I do think that Dorit can have compassion. Um, and I want them to stop like going after each other. But
Yeah.
one thing that pissed oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, one thing that happened during this scene that I was totally thinking, yes, that's exactly right, is when Bose said, I don't understand why when I defend Dorit, I get called out, but like Garcelle can defend Sutton until the cows come home, and there's no problem with that.
Oh yeah, no, it's a complete double standard. I think that the whole like calling out Bose for defending Dorit is totally like just uncalled for and just something to they don't have much on Bose at this point, right? She's like a newbie. I love her, but like as far as the drama goes, I feel like Bose is in a pretty good place. So the only
Mhm.
thing that they have to call her out on is really her defense of Dorit. So I think that that's just all they have in their pocket. But I also want to talk about how Garcelle is so adamant on calling Kyle out yet again about Morgan. She's like, so we can all talk about Mauricio's picture at the airport, but we can't talk about Kyle at the concert. And even Sutton's like, yeah, like I'm not sure I really want to bring that up. Like, I feel like, yes, it's the question we all want to know. Are they together? Were they together? What's going on with them? But how many times can we really ask the same question? How many times are we going to bring it up? Like, it's like beating a dead horse at this point. I feel like Garcelle won't let the mouse go when it comes to Kyle and Morgan. Like, she doesn't want to talk about her on the show. She said that there was nothing going on. So I don't know. I kind of just like feel like let's stop talking about it.
Right. Like, what's there to say? Kyle has said everything that she's going to say, like in this moment, And so I, Garcelle can keep asking. This is what I tell. This is what I tell my 5-year-old. You can keep asking. My answer is going to stay the same.
Yes, yes. I think that Kyle needs to have that exact response. Like, the more you ask, the more I'm going to want to say no or not open up or like, just let me come out with it when I feel it's right or not at all. Or I don't want. Yeah. So it just bothers me. I feel like Garcelle just keeps bringing this up and I'm
Okay.
not really sure why.
I wanted to ask you this. Did you see that Reza from Shaws of Sunset was on some podcast? I don't even remember what it was. I just saw the clip. And he basically says that he thought a known thing that Kyle was a lesbian and Kyle was with this Morgan chick. And he's like, it goes back for years. And I was very taken aback when I heard that because I don't think I ever heard those rumors before Morgan came around. And he seemed very sure of himself. So is he just trying to be messy and stir up drama and like become relevant?
I mean, I feel like there are a lot of people that take this solid stance that they know Kyle is a lesbian. They know she was with Morgan, is or was, whatever it is. I just feel like there are people that like know in their heart and soul that this is true and they will go to their deathbed with that. Is there any facts or proof of this? No. I just feel like some people believe it to be true. Therefore, they are going to just sail with that until the end of time. And I guess Reza is one of them.
Okay. Okay. All right. So then we get Bose going to Kyle's and she's inviting her to St. Lucia as well. And they kind of have this moment where Bose tries to be supportive because she heard what Kyle said at Dorit's 4th of July party saying, you didn't really ever get to know me. Like you didn't take the time to get to know me either. So Bose is kind of making an effort. Apparently, she sent Kyle a nice text when that photo came out. And she said, I was ready to drive over here and say, like, basically, what do we need to do? Whose body do we need to get rid of kind of thing? Because she says, when I'm a friend, I am a friend. And so she wants to explore that friendship more. And they did have a nice bonding moment because Kyle gets emotional talking about it. And then Bose shares that when her husband, like they had separated and he had a new girlfriend and then he got sick, and seeing that new woman with him while he was sick just made Bose realize, like, oh hell no, like this is my husband, this is my kid's dad, and I'm going to be the one who's there for him, like while he is sick. So I think they had, a nice like bonding moment here, and hopefully it kind of sets them off on a better path.
I sure hope so too. Like I guess Bose's whole problem with Kyle was the fact that she wouldn't open up to her. And I
Right.
feel like them sitting down and having this conversation and finding this common ground is kind of what was missing in their relationship. So I do hope they can move forward with this. But Kyle does open up to her, it's like they're just separated. Her and Mauricio aren't divorced yet, but with this picture coming out, things are changing for her. Like how long can the separation really last? However, I don't know if you saw, but a new photo of Mauricio has surfaced from this past weekend.
Oh.
He was spotted at the Chateau Marmont making out with another girl. There's a picture there, not of them making out, but of him and the girl at Chateau. And I mean, currently, they're still separated. There's no divorce, there's no filing or anything like that. My question is, how many pictures of Mauricio hooking up with other women need to come out before Kyle makes this decision? And what also gets me is that people still think they're going to get back together. Like even on Watch What Happens Live, like I forget, I think it was Dorit that said like, oh, maybe Kyle and Mauricio could still get back together. Like, how do people think this is still an option when Mauricio continues to be out and about dating, making out with women, being seen in public with other people? It doesn't seem like he's making any effort to get back with Kyle.
I think it's so complicated though, because we don't know what the real conversations are behind the scene. Even though she hasn't filed for divorce, like, I don't know. I still think, I guess I'm a holdout too. I still think there's a chance that they will come back together.
I
Maybe
know, but
they
if
take
you were
it.
separated and your husband was running around town being seen with a different women every few weeks, would you want to get back together with him?
That's a good question. I think for the length of time that they've been married, which is what, 26 years or something, maybe they stay married as more of a business partnership than they do as romantic partners. You know what I mean?
So they continue with an open marriage?
I don't know. I don't know. But when you're separated, I mean, everyone has different, ground rules for separation. And it sounds like Kyle is saying, even though I don't like it, I get that he's going to go out and date. Now, is she doing the same thing? Maybe, maybe not. Some people are saying that she did it with Morgan. Others are saying, no, or Kyle says they were just friends and blah, blah, blah. But we still haven't really seen her date anyone, but I, I don't know. It's complicated.
It is sad. I mean, the only person we've really seen Kyle out and about with is Morgan, but why doesn't she try out some other fellas? Like she should have been on Love Hotel. Like let's give her the opportunity to even try to meet somebody else. I feel like she's not
I don't
even
think
putting
she's
herself
there
out
yet.
there.
I don't think she's there yet. I think everyone deals with it differently, and I feel like men move on easier than women in in a lot of cases, not always, but and guys also like need someone to take care of them, so he's not eating soup every night. You know what I mean? It's not my husband because he's the one who cooks. So in my case, I would need to go out and find someone to cook for me.
So speaking of men needing somebody to take care of them, we got the scene with Dorit and PK, and can I just say that PK does not look well. He did not
Exactly,
look
because
well.
he doesn't have a woman taking care of him. He doesn't have Dorit saying, PK, put the chips down.
Oh, Yes, he has gained weight. How long has it been since their first dinner? Between this dinner, I need to know because things seem to have gone downhill.
Yeah, I mean, they said at that point they'd been separated for 3 months. I don't know how long they'd been separated after the first dinner, maybe a month.
Yeah, okay. I mean, a couple months could do that to you. And supposedly he's also sober. So, I don't know. He doesn't look like he's doing too well. And honestly, Dorit mentally, although she looks fabulous, she's not doing well either.
No, and this scene was so eye-opening because it is so clear that the ball's in PK's court. He's the one calling the shots, and she just kind of has to live with whatever he decides to do. And he's honestly not giving her real answers. He's not saying, I want to divorce you. He is being very like wishy-washy, and he's saying, I don't want to be with you right now, but we need to get back to being friends. We need to get back to building up our relationship again. And she just wants clarity, and I'm with her. Like, okay, so if we get back to being friends, does that mean we remain friends and like get divorced, or does that mean we remain friends, then explore our like marriage again? It could go both ways. And I think it's kind of driving her crazy. And he is, but they're totally not on the same page when it comes to him moving out and getting an apartment. He says, I don't think you should have any say in that. And she says, I absolutely should have say in that, especially if that's where her kids are going to be staying part of the time, which I don't know if they are or not, but I would certainly want to have a say in where the apartment is, what it looks like. Do they have rooms? Like, these are questions that she needs to know as the mother of those kids.
Yeah, it was interesting how they kind of framed this because it seems like it is like a role reversal. He said that his issues with Dorit were control issues. She was trying to control him down to helping him pick out where he was going to live, and he didn't feel like that was fair. Now the roles are reversed, and PK has taken the control that he lacked in the relationship, I guess, and is now moving forward with decisions. And I think that that is really the main issue. I feel like Dorit became so in control of him that he didn't want to do it anymore. He wants to be in control of his life. And so it seems like he's taking control and is not letting go of it anymore. I also think that the part of him that said, oh, we need to like create a friendship, oh, he's done. He is absolutely done. Like, I think that that is his nice way of saying, look, we're going to get divorced, but we can remain friends and be on good terms for our children. I think that their marriage is done. I think that the romantic side of things is done. He is over it. He wants nothing to do with her other than to co-parent for the future. But I think he is just, I have never seen somebody more done with somebody. I don't think he even wants to be around her anymore. Like,
No,
I
he's
think,
totally friend zoned her for
I
sure.
think, I think he's trying to tiptoe and be nice. Maybe it's because the cameras are there, because obviously the email was full of threats and everything like that. But I think at the end of the day, I think it's over. And she said on Watch What Happens Live too that she's not in control still. He's just moving forward. Like, I'm pretty sure it's done.
Didn't she say that they're not really in communication right now?
Yeah, like things aren't good. Things aren't good between them. So I don't see them getting better. I mean, I think they filmed this nearly a year ago at this point. I think it was last spring about that this was going on. So
But yeah, the whole control thing is, I don't know. I don't know because I think she controls what she can, which is kind of the little things, the day to day decisions. But he is in control of the bigger decisions, where they're going to live, their finances and all of that stuff. And so I think because she doesn't have any say in those kinds of things, let's think back to when she had her swimsuit line and she named it Nava or something like that. And then without her even knowing, behind her back, he went and changed the name to Beverly Beach by Dorit. And
all about Beverly Beach.
Darling, it's already done. It's done. I've done it. It's Beverly Beach by Dorit. Get into it. So, like, talk about control. I think that he is projecting. I think that he is calling out traits that, like, he very much, are very much within him as well. And I think he likes to control so much that he doesn't like when she gets a say in anything.
Well, and it's probably more around the fact of she was trying to control what he was doing. He wanted to go out and party. He didn't want to be home. Like they said it in their past conversation, like he still wants to be about town and she wants to stay at home and not really do that anymore. And she probably was trying to control that, make him stay home more, drink less, do all of these things that he didn't want to do. Therefore, he's like, I'm being controlled. I need to be in control now. It's just like, I'm not saying that he had any right to like take over control, but it's like I think that's how it went down.
Yeah.
That's how, yeah.
Honestly, Jerry, you're better off. Cut that dead weight, cut that excess 200 pounds, and, move on and find someone who wants to be home with you.
Yes, I think that she can find that easily. Dorit's a catch. Jagger and Phoenix are like my favorite Bravo kids in the world. They deserve like a good father figure. So hell, put Dorit on next season of Love Hotel. I'd love to see that.
Okay, so speaking of, Dorit being a catch, you know who else may be a catch? I might be changing my mind.
Again. Are we flip-flopping on Keely?
We're flopping. Keely are some points with me oops, sorry, I just changed my lighting, everyone. Keely are some points with me on this episode because he came over to dinner with Bose and her daughter Lael. And, it was kind of a get to know you dinner with Lael, and he wanted to kind of spend some time with her. Bose is like, if this man's going to be my life, like, I need to build this relationship. She really hasn't brought around boyfriends before. And so this is a big deal, a big step. Keely was thoughtful to bring Lael flowers, which, I thought was really cute. Like, let's show her how a woman deserves to be treated. And here's what I liked, is when Lael was asking, how many kids do you guys want? He said, ideally 2 or 3 or something, but of course that all depends on your mom's health. That is the right answer. Let's not put this woman through, pregnancies just because you want kids. Like, she already had a loss, of her first pregnancy, and her body did not handle it well. And so her health could really be affected if she has another pregnancy at this late stage. So I just really appreciated that answer.
I agree with you 100%. I was also won over. I actually think that in this moment, like I felt that they were compatible.
Yeah.
And I did love Lael like asking those right questions and being so open to this happening. Like, I mean, yes, she's old enough where it wouldn't impact her like super greatly, but she's so supportive of her mom and the decisions that she makes. And I love to see it. The one thing that I really like about Bose, we see a lot of newbies come on this show and they are thirsty and they are trying hard. Their storylines are inauthentic. They're trying to weasel their way into the group. Bose has this very authentic personal storyline going on that I have become extremely invested in. I mean, I think it's like every time that we see them get together, like I'm very analytical of what's going on with their relationship, why she's making these decisions, whether I agree with them or not, that's besides the point. But I'm invested in this. I want to see where her and Keely's relationship goes. I love her. I think she was a great casting choice. And what do you think? I think she will be returning next season.
Hey, the season's not over yet, so let's see what happens. But so far, I think I agree. I did get nervous when she said Lael's asking the questions that I'm too afraid to ask. Yikes. If you're going to marry someone and start a family with them, you should not be afraid to ask them basic questions like, where are we going to live?
That is true. That is true. But that's why she has Lael, right? To be there and support her. So, okay. Let's break down probably the most awkward scene of the episode between Mauricio and Kyle. Because so I wrote down in our notes like Mauricio comes to Kyle's house. And even that statement is strange because he doesn't live there anymore. He's like a visitor coming over. He's like, first, like, you think that he would address the elephant in the room right away, but no, he's like, yeah, I had a great time. My trip was great. It was very healing. I only partied like 5 nights. Do you believe that? Like, I don't believe that for 1 second.
There was so much sound healing and so much spiritual healing, Kim.
I doubt that. I really doubt that because he does like say, look, this was a trip for me to take alone, so I was trying to take advantage of that. He was being super awkward, like shimmying around that kitchen, opening drawers, opening cabinets,
Stirring
the coffee. Like that was so awkward. But finally, he addresses it. He's like, obviously, the pictures in Mykonos, I never wanted those to come out. I never wanted to hurt you. And let me know what you think, but I do believe him in this moment. I don't think that Mauricio set up those paparazzi photos. I don't think he would have done that to Kyle. I don't think he would have wanted to do that to Kyle.
No, I'm on the same page. I don't think he had any part in it. You could tell he was so nervous in this scene because he said the phrase, precisely 135 times. I know I say that a lot, just, in conversation, but I've never seen Mauricio so nervous. And I was actually proud of Kyle for not bringing it up first because she just kind of let him sit in it. And yes, it made for a very awkward scene, but he deserves to feel a little awkward, I think, in that moment. It's on him. And good for her for not kind of making it easier for him.
I agree. 100%. Oh, yeah, I don't know. She once again shares that it's a sign to move on. Do you think she's actually ever going to file for divorce, or is she going to wait for Mauricio to do it?
I think she'll wait for Mauricio to do it.
Kyle, I don't think that's the right move, but
because what does she have to gain? If she files for divorce, maybe I'm wrong, but I think he has the upper hand in terms of finances. I know we talked a few weeks ago about maybe he doesn't have as much money as we all seem to think he does. But I still think if you're to compare the two, I feel like he has probably contributed more. Now, maybe it doesn't matter because at this point, I think it's like a 50-50 split, right? But it's probably a huge headache to go through all of that, go through all of their properties, all of their accounts, all of their businesses. Like, that's just going to be a lot of admin, as
yes,
Paige
I know. But celebrities way bigger than Kyle and Mauricio get divorced all the time. I feel like if you got the right lawyer in Hollywood, in Beverly Hills, I mean, it would be a breeze to them compared to some others. But then again, you see things like, what is it? Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, or Bethany and Jason Hoppy. Like those things go on for 8-10 years. So,
and it can be very excessive themselves. So maybe their thought is, look, if we're okay, if we are amicable, we're not at each other's throats, they are not constantly fighting, no one has betrayed one another to the point where they're so angry with each other. So why are we going to spend all this money getting divorced? Maybe that's their thinking.
Well, but then you're just stuck in this limbo and you're like, where am I going? Where are we heading? Like Dorit, like I want some clarity. Like you're just, how long can they stay in this limbo before like a divorce? I know it's tough to make the decision, but at least it's like a clean break and you can move on with your life knowing what the future kind of looks like. Right now, it's just this kind of like weird phase where you don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. It's tough, but I'm sure we'll find out more about the reunion. But let's hop over to St. Lucia. So we end the episode and the ladies arrive at LAX. Love a good airport arrival.
Sutton
Um,
and
yes,
two
separate.
groups.
Yes, some of the ladies do go early to Miami, but then they all end up in St. Lucia. They have a police escort to their villa, which I thought was so elite. It was giving traders with the SUVs, rolling through the hills. And the villas are beautiful. I have to be honest. St. Lucia looks absolutely gorgeous. Everybody is marveling the view. While Kathy is spending about 2.5 hours, one by one, unpacking her moisturizer and her hair extensions in a Ziploc bag and this and that. Like, don't you think it's like, remember how Ramona would get to the villa and immediately have the staff like help her unpack? Like, I
How could
appreciate
you
that cat.
forget?
I appreciate that Kathy doesn't do that because, to be honest, she should.
No, Ramona was a monster. Can you just hang these up? I know I need the shoes. I need the shoes arranged in color by color. And then I need everything hanging. Okay, and I don't want to use these hangers. I want to use these hangers over here. So if you could get some more of these hangers, I need probably like 4 dozen of them because I don't like when my stuff is folded because then it gets all wrinkly and then I can't wear it when I want to wear it. Like she was a terror. So, yes, Kathy just seems so, polite. She's just minding her business, just organizing her shit. And I loved it.
Meanwhile, Tilly's candy exploded in her suitcase, and she doesn't know how she's going to survive throughout the trip without her candy.
Literally spoken like an addict. She was like, I don't know how I'm going to make it through. Like, however many days, 4 days that they're gone without her candy. So we've learned that she is like a midnight candy freak.
And she's like, I'm still going to eat it. Like, I'm probably still going to eat it. It's just like covering her clothes in her suitcase. I love it. I love it so much. But we get, the ladies are sitting down, and I have a theory about how Sutton acts in this moment.
So, of course, Sutton and Garcelle and Tilly are talking about the group. They are noticing how Kyle and Dorit seem like nothing has happened. They're besties again. They're cuddling and laughing and rolling around on the couch. And Tilly says that her expectation of coming into this group was different than what's actually happening. And she has felt that the group has been a little cliquey and a little bit hard to kind of break into. Obviously, she's friends with Sutton, but she hasn't really kind of broken through to the other ladies yet, quite as much as she thought she would.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. It's definitely tough. I mean, Bose, I feel like, is experiencing the same thing with some of the ladies in the group. But Sutton kind of breaks down. She's like, I'm tired of this. I don't want to fight anymore. Like, like why are her and Kyle so like, getting along and me and Dorit just can't get there. Sutton is just jet lagged. That's my theory here. I think
That's my theory.
that's my theory. I think that because she's gone after, I don't think she wants to be friends with Dorit. I think that they took a red eye. Sutton didn't sleep well. She gets there. She's tired. They're talking about this. She's getting emotional because let's be real, cut to black screen 24 hours later, Sutton on trial at sea. We are going to see Sutton flip out on the yacht that they got. We got the yacht, and Sutton's going to be on trial on it because she is not going to be able to deal with what these ladies have coming for her. I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. And I'm kind of interested, to see how, if Dorit and Sutton end up hashing it out on this trip or not.
Oh my God. What a nightmare to be in a fight with people on a boat because you cannot escape. You can't walk away.
I mean, that boat is pretty big. I'm sure there are places to walk away, but yeah, you don't want to be fighting on like a $10 million yacht. You want to be able to enjoy yourself. But of course, with these ladies, that's few and far between. But I am excited to see what's coming up in St. Lucia. Seems like we're almost to the end of the season too. So we'll see what happens. And we'll be back next week to cover it all.
Yes, thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to subscribe, follow at Bravo Breaking News on Instagram. I am at Lisa Not Rin on Instagram. Give me some follows because right now it's pretty sad. But anyway, talk to you guys next week.
Bye, everyone.